Welcome to East Mesa, urban homestead, our little slice of heaven in the sun.
Welcome back to the channel. William here with East Mesa Urban Homestead. So I recently went to some friends of mine by the name of Mike and Ruth. They live just a couple miles from here, and they let me into their home, they let me into their garden, and that's what this video is about. I'm showcasing their garden, all the things that they have going on in their backyard. And I tell you what, they have an awesome garden going on over there. So let's go over there and take a look and see what Ruth and Mike have going on in their backyard. So here we go. We got some watermelon going on in here. Got two plants here. They got several places where they have watermelon grown. This is in a raised bed. They got some over here that's in some buckets. Mike was showing me right here this shade cloth with these little clips on here you got from Amazon. You can just take these off and you put the clips away and you put the shade cloth away. And he's got his frame set up there with the PVC pipe. First thing that I noticed when I was here was that they got this nice bed of wood chips here. So this can be turned into probably some pretty good soil here over the next couple years. If they continue to replace it, it'll turn into some good soil. These are the grandkids' gardens here. There's a tire here, and there's one down here at the other end that the grandkids are planted their little garden in there. So that's pretty cool. What kind of fruit tree is this? Clementine. Okay, so that's nice. Some more some squash here growing in here.
Yeah, this is zucchini.
Zucchini squash. And so he's got more raised beds here with the shade cloth on it. He was telling me that this one right here, he needs to pull that shade cloth down in the morning because he gets direct sunlight on there. Okay, so he's got some butternut squash right here, and a strawberry plant down there. Is this all the strawberries that you have?
Yeah, that's the only one that survived.
That's the only one?
Peach.
Desert Gold Peach right here. And here's the other grandkid garden right here.
And they each got to pick what they wanted to plant.
So what kind of peppers are these right here? Do you remember?
Okay, this is jalapeno.
Okay.
And this one is a green
bell.
Green bell pepper?
We had a banana pepper and a red bell, but we lost them.
Okay. So this is a nice little raised bed here. Is that an ammo crate?
Yeah.
What you got growing in there?
Just
Some flowers.
Just some flowers? Okay. That's pretty cool. So we got spaghetti squash right here. And this is the watermelon right here.
Mm-hmm.
Got one here. Got one over here. And they seem to be doing pretty good. Mike said that the buckets aren't draining very well, and he said that the soil is pretty wet, so he needs to just cut back on that a little bit. And these are all the tomatillas?
Tomatillas.
Okay.
And behind it is the passion fruit.
Passion fruit. All right, there you go. That's looking really good. So Mike was telling me that he didn't have anything growing on here as far as the tomatillas going, but as soon as we came out, we noticed right away that you can see the husk right here. Okay, these are what the tomatillas are going to grow in. So he's doing okay, and he's got them pruned up really nice down here at the bottom. All right, so they have a banana tree here, and that's something that I don't have in my yard. Actually, I don't have a lot of what they have back here, but that's going to change this next year or so. Anyway, that's growing really nice, and then they got some grapes going here that are looking really good, but you don't have any fruit on it yet, right?
We had just like 4 or 5 on this one, but we've picked them off.
Okay.
Some bugs were starting to get to it.
All right, so they got one there, and then they got another one here. And then they got some blackberries going on here, and that's looking pretty good. They got a lot of fruit on it. It's not ripened yet, but that's all right. It's coming along. So they have a moringa tree here, and another one right here. They're still small, but they'll.
From seed.
Oh, you grow these from seed?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And then they got some various flowers and stuff over here in this bed. It looks really nice. So here is another watermelon plant they got here, and this one is doing really well. He did put some shade over it because it wasn't doing very well, but ever since he put the shade over it, it's starting to come back, and he's using 50% on the shade cloth here. But this is looking pretty good. And then you said this was cantaloupe here, so they got cantaloupe growing. Look at that plumeria. I am so jealous of that. I've tried to grow plumerias forever. I've probably killed about 15 of them. But looking good. We got one more place to look at here. So here's some tomatoes here. Mike, what varieties do you have here? I see you got a Cherokee Purple. There's a Solar Fire.
I believe the big one in the back was a
It's got the name of it on it.
Super Fantastic.
It was a
Yeah.
big one. Yeah.
See, you got some sweet basil in there, and then a Celebrity.
Yeah.
So how's the production been on your tomatoes?
We've done fair with tomatoes, although we've had a problem with some.
The worms?
No, the end rot.
Oh, the blossom end, right?
We got some calcium stuff to help take care of that.
Okay.
And here's another tomato.
This
Another
one's
tomato. Roma, okay. Okay, there's another passion fruit on there.
And this is
Is this the
cucumbers.
Space Saver.
Space Saver, but look, we've got miners.
Leaf
Yeah.
mine's pretty bad.
Yeah. I've got some of that actually on my my pepper plant.
Armenian cucumbers, and this was beans, and we just replanted them, so they got too wet.
Another moringa tree from seed, that's awesome.
And then this is a blueberry plant. It's struggling, but we did get blueberries off of it this year.
They're difficult. You
And
can't
then
just plant them in the ground.
a pepper, and then a zucchini, a banana pepper, and a red pepper. And that is, those are
White eggplant.
eggplant. This is a Pakistani mulberry,
Mm.
and we planted it. It was about this big, and it's supposed to get fruit
It'd
that
get a
long.
mulberry on about as big as your little finger.
And
That
this,
long. And
Yeah, I've seen those before, yeah.
and this is okra.
Okay. So I'm here with Mike and Ruth here, and we're going to start talking about what they got growing on back here in their yard. So I guess my first question to you guys is, how long have you been here in this property?
this property,
14 years.
14 years?
2005.
How long have you guys been doing the gardening?
About 2 years.
About 2 years?
We started about a year and a half ago.
Well, the fall garden was our first real garden, and it did fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm not quite sure. It's all brand new for us, so we don't.
Okay.
We don't
So
know what we're doing.
What got you into doing it? What was your motivation to do what you guys have going on out here? Because I mean, really, you guys have a lot of stuff going on out here in your yard, and it's awesome. But what got you to this point where you wanted to grow all of this food
For our health.
for your health?
We wanted stuff that we knew how it was grown and there wasn't any pesticides on it. We're trying to eat organic fruits and vegetables and whole foods instead of eating processed.
And you know, I think that's the biggest thing I think that a lot of people are doing nowadays is, you know, they're tired of going to the grocery store and buying those, you know, fruits and vegetables that are in cold storage for months at a time.
And they don't have any taste.
And they don't. And you know why? I learned this. They grow and they have the food in the grocery stores that store the longest. Because, you know, if you have really good plants and really good fruit, you know, it's not going to last as long because it's really organic.
Right.
Okay? And that stuff that they're selling to us is not good. And that's the reason why. And that's why I start doing what I'm doing, because I don't want to be eating pesticides and, you know, all the stuff that they're doing to our food nowadays.
Right.
So you already know about fresh eggs because
Mhm.
you have the chickens.
Yes.
But when you buy an egg at the grocery store, even if it says
Fresh.
Right.
You're looking at a 3-month-old egg.
free range,
Right.
no cage, whatever. That egg, it might be 6 months old.
Right, and that's the whole thing, you know, and that's why I'm trying to showcase people like yourselves on what they're doing in their backyard, because you know what? I think Americans need to wake up and look at what they're eating, what they're feeding their kids, what they're putting in their own body, and you know, get smart and start growing your own food, because it's not that hard. I mean, you know, there's some lessons to be learned, but
Yes.
trial and error, once you get it down, I think that, you know, it comes along, right? I mean,
Our winter garden did great. We had kale and chard, and we had 2 different kinds of lettuce. We had spinach, we had carrots, We had
Rutabagas.
rutabagas, beets.
But you know, the thing is, I mean, look at our temps here. You know, I mean, we're still pretty cool right now. I mean, considering the time frame. You know, we're almost into July, and we've had a couple 110, 112, but we've been pretty mild. We just had a mild weekend. I mean, we have a very big disadvantage in the summertime growing in Arizona, but it can be done. And my winter garden was really good as well. I don't have as much stuff as you guys are growing here, so you guys are more challenged than I am in my own garden right now because I'm growing things that I know I can grow pretty easy. And you guys are growing things that you gotta kind of keep up on and stuff.
And we're learning how to eat all kinds of different things that we never even ate before, like rutabagas and different kinds of squashes. We're learning how to eat all that food, and it's good.
Yeah.
I'm even making my dogs fresh food.
That's good. That's
I'm
good.
using fruits and vegetables and
So let me ask you this: what is the percentage of the stuff that you're growing that you're going to be eating that you've grown from seed? What's the percentage? I mean, you bought plants, or has it all been from seed?
It's been a combination.
Combination.
Yeah.
So roughly percentage-wise, what's your seed to bought plants?
Probably 80%
Are from seed?
from seed.
Okay.
And then we have the things that we got, just like
Well, all this stuff over here was some seeds. The squashes and the zucchini. That's all
and
from
the
seeds.
trees, most of the trees except for the the moringa trees were all
From seed, right?
from seed.
And what about organic? The plants that you did buy, were they organic plants or were they just
To the
regular?
best of our knowledge.
Yes.
I
seeds?
couldn't
We've been
guarantee
trying.
it.
The seeds are all organic. We got them at
Again, that was from Great Beers.
they have a seed
The Great Seed Up or whatever they call it.
in September, and they have bins of seeds, and you go in there and they will give you like a scoop of a seed, and they'll put a card in it.
You actually scoop out what you want.
And then
And where's this at?
It's over, they rent a 10,000 square foot auditorium from the North Phoenix Baptist Church over at Central Bethany Home.
Okay.
In September, and the place is full of tables and seeds. You go in, they have a plastic bag, they have a little card that tells you what that seed is, when's the best time to plant it. All the instructions, and a scoop. You scoop, each scoop's a quarter for a scoop of seeds. Now, if you went to Home Depot or something, you bought that bag for $1 or $2, it's
Right. It depends on what you're buying, but yeah, most of the time it's a couple bucks for a packet of seeds.
Right.
And you have very little seeds. You get the whole scoop there for a quarter.
Right.
yeah, and they're all organic.
Heirloom seeds.
Heirloom seeds.
Heirloom,
Okay.
open pollinating.
And good for Arizona.
That's awesome. I need to go check that out. And I know that Apache Junction Library had a seed thing going on. I think it was last month. I missed it, but I know they had that over there.
Right. But they only sell the seeds that they know grow in Arizona.
Yes.
And that's good because if you go to the big box stores, they just have seeds that you don't know if it's good for here
Or even their plants.
And that's the thing, even like with the plants, I was watching a video and someone was saying that, you see those plants and they got fruit on them or, they got whatever's growing on them, but they're like fertilizer junkies. From what I understand is that, the nurseries that grow those are just pouring on fertilizer.
Well,
and then when you bring them home, and people wonder why they're not doing so well, and it's because you're not feeding them all that fertilizer that those nurseries grow.
And it may not be a plant that actually will grow in Arizona.
And that's another case.
a lot of the trees too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They don't tell us that here in Arizona. They just want you to buy them, and people don't know when to plant them. They don't know if it's the right tree for here or their soil. So those are all lessons that we all have to learn if we're starting out like we are, because I'm a new gardener. You guys are fairly new gardener.
Yes.
So those are all things that everybody needs to look at. Here in Arizona, there's a lot of challenges that we have here. Even though we can grow year-round here, there's a lot of big challenges here that we have to overcome in order to be able to be successful. And that's why I started my garden as kind of like a salsa garden to start out, because I've only had one other garden, and that was like 25, 30 years ago, and you know, I planted everything, and we had an overabundance of things that we didn't eat. So when we sat down and decided we were going to grow our garden this year, and last year we said, you know, let's do stuff that we like to eat: garlic, onion, you know, we like lettuce, we like tomatoes, the peppers, and all those kind of things that, you know, we can be self-sustaining on those type of things.
Right.
We grew radishes, which we love. My son loves those. So those are all the type of things that we grew, and this year is going to be a little bit different for myself. So where do you guys see yourselves going with your garden going forward? I know you told me that you're going to put some more beds in over here.
Beds in, because especially the fall garden, I would grow more of what we grew.
We grew onions and garlic, and the radishes. They were gone practically before we picked them. We were picking them and
right.
eating them.
Yeah.
And our grandkids love to come out and play in the garden. So it makes it fun to have something that they can enjoy too.
Yes.
And you don't realize how much they're learning just by playing in the garden with you.
I know, my kids love it too. They always want to go out there and pick the vegetables, and, you know, are always wanting to help. Let me ask you guys each a question. What's your favorite plant, or not your favorite plant, but the favorite food that you have growing back here? What's your favorite thing that you have out here?
Well, if it does good, probably the butternut squash.
Butternut squash. Okay. What about you, Mike?
I love the butternut squash, but of all we've grown so far, my favorite have been the radishes. They weren't just little round radishes; they were about that long.
The fresh breakfast?
Yes.
All right, so I want to thank both of you very much for letting me come into your home and check out your garden. It's really awesome. You know, I'm gonna eventually probably get maybe to this point. Not sure. My wife kind of keeps me on a short leash when it comes to the garden, so we're just trying to figure out what we're gonna be doing. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and they really got an awesome garden back here. So until next time, I'm out here.